welcome back to Chartered Adventuring. This is the newly named, Wondrous Gateway to Oz. I'm still not used to the new title. We're going to be starting with the new players today, Jamie and Ian, who I would like to take a quick second to introduce their characters and maybe a little bit of background story on what got them to where they are today. Ian?
I am Gorbash Almadan. I am a turtle who is from the Feywild. Been traveling in the area. Was born in the area also. Because of
Waterdeep, right?
Of the Feywild.
Of the Feywild. Okay, excuse me.
Yeah, born in the Feywild, but because of my knowledge of the Fey, I was asked to help with certain aspects about an interesting area that just opened up that no one knows about.
All right, perfect. And Jamie, welcome.
I am Brinoa Redwood. I'm a little halfling rogue. I am pretty much just out for myself. I find it fun to charm and disarm people with both words, but also my daggers.
Of course. Excellent. Anything else you want to add, or you got more? Charming, dashing halfling rogue?
Grew up a little bit outside of Waterdeep. Mostly just wanted to get away from homey lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still figuring out who Brinoa is.
Of course, yeah, that's no problem. Well, both of you are members of Chartered Adventuring, which is headquartered currently in Waterdeep. Aurora called you into the office with a lucrative offer from the Masked Lords, which sent out a general missive to the adventurers of Waterdeep that an anomaly has been sighted outside the town of Red Larch, which is approximately a 10-day or 7-day ride from Waterdeep to the north. It's a small town, not very important, although it does act as a great waypoint to several different smaller towns in the area to the north. You've been told that normally you would not be brought along on a mission to investigate another realm, but Chartered Adventuring is in dire straits again. There's a chance that it could go under. Your mission is to go to the other side of the realm, or portal, figure out what's going on, what location it is, bring back any treasure you can find, anything that can help put a dent in the significant debt that has arisen in Chartered Adventuring. So you guys set out, you guys have met each other. Gorbash was hired precisely because he has some outside knowledge of another plane, the Feywild, that could come in handy with the current investigation and expedition. He was hired especially, so he might be getting a little extra gold, but you don't know that yet, Brinoa. You have had a nice conversation on the way there. You've arrived in Red Larch after a pretty chill, relaxing journey from Waterdeep. You've been well outfitted from Chartered Adventuring for that particular journey. So you've had food, you've had your sleeping bags, and you've been able to make it there pretty easily without any difficulty. You arrive in town with instructions to go to the Helmet High Sun, one of the two local pubs in town. There's a board on the wall that has a map to where the last presumed sighting of the portal is. There's not much information available, but that's where you're instructed to go to get a general layout of where everything is. So gotcha. You enter midday at Red Larch, and it's a town with one long road, with the long road right in the center of it. It goes north as it enters the other parts of as it enters towards the spine of the world. It goes all the way up. After Red Larch, it peers off towards other various small towns and settlements, but that's unimportant other than it's a great stopping point as people are entering and leaving Waterdeep to rest. So you are now standing in the center of town. You've made it without incident, and the Helmet High Sun is standing before you.
Okay. So did they give us any sort of indication as to who we were meeting, or you know?
You haven't been given you haven't been. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was actually talking to Gorbash.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, they just told us an area that we have to go.
But they said the helm, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, guess we're gonna go in and see what we see, huh?
Exactly.
So wander on in. What do I see around me?
As you go inside, it is actually a fairly quiet inn. It's got private booths set up on the side. There's an older elf, grizzly elf at the pub who's washing a rag sullenly. There's a group of ladies standing over in front of a notice board that's been rudely put up against the wall, and it seems to have a number of quests or missives written on it. And there is a walking helmed horror wandering around with a tray in its hand, silently putting down drinks and serving food to people. And there are stairs up towards the inn portion of it. It's a little dark in the room. It's not very brightly lit up. You get the impression that it's meant to be kind of a quiet space.
Oh, well, you certainly don't see that every day.
You're referring to the helmed horror, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't respond to anything you say and just continues doing its stuff. I know you didn't respond to it immediately or talk to it, but yeah.
And you guys said that, just to recap on something else, there was not a specific person. We just had to go inside the inn to find where we had to go. You said initially.
Oh no! They just said go to the helmet high.
Okay.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Or it's like go to that inn. That's where the information is. As you're standing and checking around, you see the ladies are pointing at a piece of paper on the board and talking with each other. All of the ladies are interesting looking. They're all dressed in red robes and outfits.
I will go talk to the barkeeper.
The barkeep? Okay. So you walk up and you see a shriveled up old human with whitish hair, sullenly cleaning a glass. He doesn't acknowledge you as you come up.
Hello there.
He looks up at you.
We are sent from the Chartered Adventure, and we're looking for a area that was opened up to a different realm. Have you heard of this area?
He grunts again and he points at the notice board in the corner and goes back to cleaning glasses.
I turn and then I walk slowly.
You what?
I walk slowly.
Okay. You walk slowly where?
Towards the area they
notice
pointed.
board?
Yeah.
Okay. Jamie, what is Brinoa doing?
So, while Gorbash is up doing that, I was just like, these ladies look interesting.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up and I'm going to try and just nonchalantly, see if I can hear anything that they're saying.
Okay. So you go up and they are having a conversation with each other. Each one of them has a different hairstyle, different hair color, brunette, blonde, one silver-haired. One of them is carrying a staff, one's carrying a bow, one is carrying a dagger. They're saying, well, this is the missive. This is what the Lords of Waterdeep want investigated. I don't know why they would offer all the adventurers to come out, but this is what we have as an offer. One of the other ones says, are you sure this is going to make enough money? And the other one says, quiet. The last thing you tried got us all arrested. As they're chattering, a gentleman starts coming down the stairs. He has a very noble bearing. I'd like you to make a... Why don't you go ahead and do a history check?
Oof. That's a 6.
A 6? Okay.
Better than the 2 I rolled.
I'm going to give you advantage based on what... I should have said this earlier, but I'm giving you an advantage for your roll based on what you were telling me about your class. So do one more, and then take a higher one.
Taking advantage of your dice. How dare you?
Worse?
Okay, so you got a 6. Okay. You don't recognize the individual coming down the stairs, who at this point now has taken his cloak and tossed it over the helmed horror's head and started walking towards the group of adventurers. You do notice the helmed horror just puts down his tray on the nearest table and walks to the corner and stands there like a coat rack. He walks up to the group and he says, are you adventurers looking into the incident that's happening outside of town? Everybody snaps their head at him, and you see a very handsome young man dressed in finery a doublet, fine pants and shoes that you would not normally see on a standard adventurer, and his cloak that got tossed into the side is of fine quality as well.
Before any of the other ladies have a chance to actually respond, I'm like, why, yes, I am.
He turns down and looks at you and he says, I have an additional request if you are on the way anyway, but I'd be willing to pay each of you 10 gold to listen to my request.
Well, I mean, anything for such a noble character as yourself.
He seems flattered. He says, you flatter me, young lady, but I am just a humble citizen of Waterdeep. And the other ladies turn and look at you. They glare at you.
Can I make an insight check with what he just said?
Certainly. What are you trying to...
no, because he's like, I'm such a humble character.
Yes.
But, like, I'm just trying to see, like, how much is he trying to kind of... you know what word I'm going for, right? He's trying to kind of be like, no, I'm not that important.
He's being humble. You want to see how humble he's being?
Well, I want to see how truthful he's being about his character.
Sure.
Essentially, I want to just kind of be like, because I don't really believe him, considering what you've said about like his cloak and
okay, sure.
His finery.
A wisdom check, sure.
That would be a 17.
17. That's an excellent roll. You know that this guy is probably one of the creme de la creme of Waterdeep, and it immediately interests you as somebody who wants to make a name for herself. And you are pleased with yourself that you've already started off on the right foot in attempting to get his attention over the other ladies, who are all glaring daggers down at you. And they say, of course, we'd be happy to help you, noble sir. And he ushers all of you to a nearby booth and has you sit down.
I'm going to try and like kind of like turn and like try and gesture without calling out to Gorbash, like, hey, dude, come over here.
Okay. Gorbash, make a perception roll.
I was going to ask, is that actually during while I'm talking to the elf or a human? Or
Yeah.
16.
16? Okay. As you're attempting to get information out of the elf and turning away at realizing, or the human, and realizing that he's not helping you in any way, you do see her engaging, you see Renoa engaging with a nobleman and being ushered off to a table and start walking over towards them.
I raise one of my eyebrows.
You have
down.
eyebrows?
Well, not my eyebrow, but my eye. And then I
raise your eye up. How horrifying!
I'm like trying to imagine. Like, do you have eye stalks like slugs now?
Oh my gosh! Okay, so you walk over. He has everybody sit down, and he says, "My name is Renair Neverember. I would like to enlist you into trying to find my friend, who I believe has gone through this mysterious portal and has not been seen since." And then as he's speaking, one of the other ladies says, of course, my lord, of course, we'd be happy to assist you. About the matter of the 10 gold. And one of the other ladies is like, Belinda, what is wrong with you? He's missing his friend and you're trying to shake him down for cash already? And the other one says, well, we need the money. And he says, of course. And he rifles through a coin purse and he starts doling out 10 gold coins to each of you. So both Renoa and Gorbash receive 10 gold coins for listening to the story.
I was going to say, I'm going to look and I'm just going to sit down. I'm like, but please tell me more about your friend.
Of course. My friend's name is Volathomp Gadarm. You may have heard of him. He has written a few books on the nature of creatures in Faerun.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, go.
I was going to be like, wasn't he just at Lady Chanterelle's party just about like a month ago? He was doing like a signing of some sort.
Your knowledge of he doesn't say this out loud. I'm going to narrate this for you, but your knowledge of the party surprises him, as you presumably don't look like somebody who would be working with the upper crust of society. But he is utterly charmed that you would know it. He says, "Why, yes, were you at the party? I didn't see you there."
Oh, no worries. I know people that, attend these sorts of things. And so I end up hearing about them.
Oh, of course. Well, then you must also know that I myself do not consider the frivolities and trappings of nobility to be something that need to be strictly adhered to. In any case, I would like to have Volo found as soon as possible. It has been 10 days since anybody has seen him. He could be anywhere, of course, and the most likely place being this portal, discovering some horror that has not been seen before. I can offer each of you another 10 gold when you give me, if you find any information on his whereabouts, and I can also assure you that he will reward you handsomely if you can help get him back to this side of wherever he went to.
So, I do have a question.
Of course. He turns to look at you and sees that he's talking to a turtle person and blinks but doesn't say anything impolite.
What race is this person?
What race is Volatom Kadarm? He is a human, sir.
Thank you. I also do want to say that I will not make a promise, but we will try, or can try.
Well, I appreciate that. He bows his head slightly. Anything you can do to try and find him.
I give you my word. We will do our best to investigate this.
And the other ladies hear you say that, and they say, "Of course, yes. In fact, we think we should all work together." And she sweeps her hands, including the both of you as well. We should all work together to try and find the return of this wonderful author. We need him to tell us about the creatures of the world. And he says, at your leisure, if you wish to work together, he will reward all of you amply, I am sure. And you're more likely to succeed if you do so.
Is there a specific area, person, thing that this person was looking for?
What?
Is there a specific thing that the person we are trying to find is looking for before he went into the portal?
He was looking to find new creatures on the other side of the portal. Anyway, I must return to Waterdeep. I have to speak to my father on a matter of some importance regarding money. I must go. If you have any questions, please feel free to send a letter posted to my estate.
Of course. And please give High Lord Neverember my regards. My name is Brenoa. He should know who I am.
I see. I will do so, my dear. He stands up awkwardly, and everybody stands up as he leaves, and he goes and grabs his cloak off the helmed horror, which makes no movement or statement, of course, and he walks out the door. And now you are left standing around a table with a bunch of ladies, all wearing red cloaks, with the knowledge that all of you now are working together or working against each other and are not sure what quite to do. They look at you and they say, "Well, who knew that we would meet one of the most eligible bachelors in Waterdeep in this little town?" "Yes, of course," the other one says. "And we've seemed to have gained 2 new members as well." And they all turn to look at you.
Do you know where the entrance is at?
To the portal, to the thing of everybody's interest here. Well, according to the map, and she kind of angles over at the wall, it appears to be off in the northeastern woods. Would you like to work together on this? And they all kind of look at you.
Well, we can certainly work together, at least so long as you guys are willing to keep manners where they should be.
Well, of course. They all look at you, and everybody shares a hearty laugh.
Except me.
Except you? Okay.
I'm just like smiling, like,
Of course. Okay. So the one with the brunette hair, who seems to be the leader, says, "My name is Melinda. I propose that we all rest here in the inn for the evening and set out first thing in the morning to the portal and try to find Volo as soon as possible. What say you?"
I look to Gorbash.
We can do so. There is no rush.
They all say okay. They Belinda or Melinda or whichever one I said, I keep forgetting because I
Melinda.
have names. Melinda says, very well. She goes to the front and she says, I'll take the keys for our rooms. And all of them march up to their rooms and you hear all the doors close for the evening. They presumably have gone to bed.
Renoa,
Yes.
there is one thing I do want to bring up. From the area that I am from, just in case, don't make any promises, don't make any deals. Or else you may be stuck in a permanent stasis of servitude.
Absolutely. I'm not sure you heard what I didn't promise to bring anybody back. I promised that we would look into it.
I was just saying in general, in case you don't know about other areas, when we go into those areas. I'm talking about this instance right here.
Fair enough. I've never been to the Feywild. I won't deny that. But I definitely worked with characters that you don't make promises to lightly. So anyways, getting our rooms, right?
Sure.
Thank you.
As a warning, I have a feeling that they will leave us.
I mean, if that wasn't already obvious.
Boy, this party doesn't trust anyone, do they?
I never do. That's how you survive.
Add a character, yeah. From someone from their Feywild, you don't trust anybody. Kind of.
Okay, so what is your guys' plan then? What are you going to do?
Sleep.
I'll spend the evening getting ready for the next day, making sure my pack is assembled. Depending on where our room is at, I may try and overhear any conversation. I might, listening for the doors and whatnot with the Lindas.
Okay, how long are you going to listen at night for them?
Well, I'm already feeling pretty rested, so I'm not worried about taking a long rest. So okay. I probably only worry about doing maybe about 4 or 5 hours of listening, and then, again, another 4 or 5 hours of resting.
Okay. All right, so let's see.
I will take a look at the map, though, so we can figure out where the portal is before I go to sleep, in case someone else tries to change or anything like that.
Okay, so you're going to check out the map and make sure everything's on the up and up on it?
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, for you, you're going to be in your room listening to see if you hear anything out of the ordinary. Could you please make a perception check?
Okay, even with my perception bonus, it's an 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah.
I need you to make one more perception. You didn't hear anything.
Okay.
Everything, it sounds like a normal inn. People downstairs are drinking, moving tables and chairs. People upstairs are sawing Z's, probably. So one more
still perception?
Yes.
22.
22, okay. Around 10 p.m. at night, you distinctly hear a window shutting on the other side of the door that you were listening at.
Okay. All right.
Which could mean something and could mean nothing to you.
Of course.
It has been unusually quiet. Nobody said anything. Nobody has been moving around or having discussions.
Right.
Which you find suspicious on its own, too.
Well, of course. Can I see anything just out the window, or is it just too dark?
You're in a hallway upstairs where there are no windows to the outside. The windows are reserved for the insides of the rooms.
Okay. And downstairs by this point, too many people loitering, or...
At 10 p.m., it's just a few people that are still deep in their cups and haven't been able to get up to their room yet.
Okay. I'm pretty light and, light-footed halfling, so I'm going to just kind of sneak out the door a little bit.
Sure. Okay.
See if I can take kind of a look around the outside.
Okay. So you don't need to make a stealth roll or anything for this, but you look outside and it is very dark except for the lanterns that are lining the street that are going to be put out soon because it is 10 p.m. There are probably still a few people that need to close up shop or get home in the evening after putting things away. You look outside and you see from the room that was done a cloth or rope all the way down the side.
I'm just gonna sigh, I knew it.
So they have left, is every opinion that you have now.
Mm-hmm. So, after seeing this, it's yeah, I knew it. And get quietly quietly try to get back in, and
You don't disturb anyone because it is, although it's late, you have a key.
yeah, and I'm just gonna go back up to my room. I'm like, all right, you know what? Hopefully they just get eaten by a bugbear. I'm going to bed.
I love your character's attitudes. You're just going to go to bed for the night?
Yeah.
Let them get a head start. No problem. That's what happens. Okay. So you go to sleep and you start sawing Z's, and Gorbash, blissfully unaware that the ladies have already made it, but determined before that they were probably going to do that anyway, and sleeping with an easy conscience. And we will now transfer back to the Oz team on the other side. You have just finished previously making it through the poppy field and were extremely groggy, extremely tired, even though you rested a lot, because too much sleep is just as bad as no sleep. You were lightly dehydrated.
Tell that to somebody who's not a bear. Sleep is a good thing.
Okay, well then perhaps you're not as affected as much as Franklin would be from the sleep then. I forgot that bears hibernate, so maybe it wouldn't affect you as much then. That makes sense.
You'll not coffee to be seen.
You have made it to the edge of a dark forest, Munchkin Forest, which is dark blue, of course, and the yellow brick road leads straight through it. And despite everything that's happened so far, you know that you have to continue through this next portion.
The mice anywhere to be seen, or is it just the two of us?
The mice dropped you off on the side and left you there to work off the poison of the sleeping poppies.
Well, good thing we didn't get eaten by a wild bear or something, I suppose.
They wouldn't be able to help you if you did, most likely.
Oh. Well, Bear King. Oh. I suppose may as well keep on trucking.
Well, we certainly can't go back without calling more of those mice, and if there are more of those creatures on this side of the poppy fields, we should probably go and find out where they are.
I'd reckon so. I've never been to these parts, so I'm going to say we just stick to the road and see where it takes us.
I would think that would be the right course of action. Those woods do look like you could get lost fairly easily.
Strap on my stuff, check my gear, make sure everything's loaded and ready to go.
Make sure those friendly mice didn't take anything from you.
Sling my rifle over my shoulder and take a swig of water and start walking.
All right, you start going in through the forest. So let's make a roll and see what happens first.
Nothing.
Worse. One more time.
We want nothing.
Here lies Gramphon Cray and
died of dysentery on a yellow brick road.
So you're traveling through the dark forest. It's to the east of the poppy field, of course, on our map. The yellow brick road does get a little crumbly and difficult to walk at times, but the canopy is it grows very high and very dark in the forest, so you can't see very well. About 4 hours into your walk, you're probably about halfway through the forest, you can guess, and there is a large pit or gorge in the center of it, and it looks like there is a bridge in the center of it that looks like it's fairly new.
Well, that's interesting.
Does the bridge look like sturdy, or are we talking
it looks crudely made, but it looks very sturdy, for you see this bridge is made of metal.
Oh.
You gonna get closer and investigate?
That seemed a little odd to you there, Bear King?
Most of the things that are made by man seem odd to me.
Fair enough.
Can both of you please make, let's see. I'd like you both to make nature checks, please.
Now you're speaking my language.
Natural 20.
Oh, really?
With a +3, thank you.
The natural 20 will do fine, sir.
Tom rolled a 1. No.
I actually rolled a 3. But with my intelligence, there's a -1.
Oh, okay.
So
So you're starting this game off with a 2 also.
Even though nature is one of my proficiencies, so I double my bonus, but it's still -1, even doubling my bonus.
Oh my god!
Are we in Brooklyn?
Right.
Okay,
is that
so
the Golden Gate Bridge? No,
King Bumblespeaker, the metal is not something that you've ever really seen before, except for anything that Franklin Clay has on his person as a police officer of Oz. So you are complete. What's that?
Lawman.
Lawman. Okay.
I am the law.
I wasn't speaking cowboy. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So you are completely enraptured by a sparkling, shiny tin bridge, something you've never seen before. Franklin, you notice that it is completely silent here in the center of the forest. The forest up until this point has been a normal forest. It's been, birds, squirrels, other creatures making normal creature sounds. But at this part of the forest, it is completely dead silent, which is usually an indicator, as a ranger, you would probably know this, that there is a predator on it.
Hey, Bear King?
In addition, you notice a sign nailed onto a tree nearby.
Yes, Franklin?
Little hairs on the back of my neck are standing up right now. That's usually not a good sign. Ain't no birds, no squirrels, nothing.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
And apparently someone not only built a bridge, but left a sign for it.
Well, what does the sign say?
It says... I'll read it out loud.
Yes, so let me just get that for you. One moment, please.
It says, beware all bears who enter here.
Abandon bears, all ye who enter.
Abandon all hope, ye bear who enter here.
It's actually a tin sign that's been nailed onto the tree, onto a blue munchkin tree, and pounded in on 4 sides, and it's been scratched in with a pretty neat hand. And you're the only one who can read it because I don't believe the bear is going to be able to read. But I mean, I could be wrong, unless you know something I don't. It says, "Here the heroes of Oz, Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, and the Cowardly Lion defeated the Kalidahs. Travelers, be wary in this wood."
Oh boy!
And you read that out loud.
Well,
are you sure this is the way we need to go?
Please make perception checks now.
Oh, Lord.
let me see.
10.
Remind me, if it's got a white dot next to it, does that mean it's advantage, or that just means I'm proficient?
That means you're proficient.
16.
16? Okay. So you hear a rustling behind you in the underbrush of the forest, which grows very dense and you can't immediately see. All right. Gonna pull out your gun. You gonna fire a shot?
I got it. I ain't firing yet.
Okay.
We should continue across the bridge if the danger is on this side.
I think it's a good idea. Why don't you go ahead and start walking that way? I'll start backing slowly towards the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move towards the bridge too.
All right. So as you approach the bridge, the rustling stops.
Right.
1 second. Hold on. Is there like a decent sized rock, like size of my fist or something, on the ground?
Sure.
Pick it up and toss it over onto the bridge.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll, I guess. On the bridge? On the bridge?
Yeah, I'm just going to toss it onto the bridge.
Oh, okay. So you toss it onto the bridge, and it makes a very loud clattering sound because it's tin. It echoes through the forest around you.
Well, now I think we should hurry.
After you.
I'm gonna just trot along and trust that the bridge is strong enough to hold my weight.
Okay. You do put your paw on it, and it is strong enough to hold your weight. It looks kind of, crude, but it is made well. And it makes a terrible racket every single time you put your claws down, though. Boom, 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 boom. everyone in the entire forest is going to know that you're crossing a tin bridge.
Yeah. Not much I can do about that.
No, there isn't.
I'm gonna move across as quickly as I can without losing control. Yeah, basically.
Okay, got it. The bridge
has
holds
got
fine.
railing and stuff too, or is it just
There's
like
no railing on it. It's just a crude bridge that's big enough for both of you to get across.
All right, I'm gonna kind of sideways walk it then. That way I can keep an eye behind us while I'm moving across.
All right.
I ain't moving my firearm anywhere away from the brush.
Okay. So as you get across the bridge and go towards the center, a Kalidah jumps out of the woods, and you get a chance to shoot at it.
Oh, just how I wanted to start my morning. Dun, dun.
Am I familiar with these creatures at all?
You know what a Kalidah is, but you've never seen one. Kalidahs are fearsome creatures in Oz. They have the body of a bear, and you got a 26 to hit. Roll your
I got a natural 20 again.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He's
Awesome.
stealing them from all the rest of us, is what it is. That's why I rolled a 3.
Luckily for you, Bear Man, you're with the Kalidah killer.
Yeah, roll your damage.
31.
31? Holy crap. Okay, so as you get to the center of the bridge, you have been your years of practice with a firearm and your knowledge of ambush tactics by predators has completely held your own and informs your every decision and move on the hunt in a forest, apparently.
Holy Buffalo Bill,
A
Batman.
Kalidah comes ripping, a younger one, a smaller one than the one you killed before, comes tearing out of the growth. It has the head of a tiger and the body of a bear, and it lunges at you snarling, and you level your rifle straight at it, aim at its face, and blow it to kingdom come. It ends up straight on, it lands splat on the yellow brick road, getting blood everywhere, and is completely and utterly annihilated.
Ain't so yellow anymore.
Well,
I'm still slow. I'm not lowering my rifle. I'm going to keep backing towards the edge, towards the bear.
okay, yeah. It doesn't seem to have dropped anything, and it's missing a head now because that disintegrated on impact. That's amazing. That's a really good roll. I hope that.
At level 1.
Yeah, that is impressive, and I hope that I adequately described that 20 for you. So
my
continue-
D10, I got 4 D10 off of that shot. I got an 8, a 7, a 5, a 7.
Jeez,
All
what
right.
does
And
that
I get a
rifle
plus.
do?
And I get a +4. What?
How much damage did that rifle do?
It's a hunting rifle. It does 2D10 +4.
Wow.
And since he got advantage, it's a 40-10.
Well, you got a crit. Yeah.
As you make it to the other side of the bridge,
Only got a few bullets though.
yeah, that's part of the problem. That's going to be the kicker for it. As you get to the other side of the bridge, you hear snarling, and you hear a deep-throated voice say, "You killed my cub!"
Uh-oh.
Please roll initiative.
Oh no!
Couldn't have saved that 20 for that one, huh?
I got a 10.
You did better than me.
There we go.
Yeah, which one? The one that spoke, or all the other ones that are waiting in the woods?
14.
Okay, excellent. So we can start. Franklin, you're going first. There is another fully grown Kalidah in the brush on the left side of the woods after you've crossed the bridge. Okay,
Take another shot.
all right.
Is he shooting like right over my shoulder?
He's
Got
he's clearly a good shot.
Well-
You got off the bridge too, right?
Yeah, I'm over. Well, I mean,
Well, I
did
was-
enough time pass to where I'm over with him now?
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This bridge is bolted in, or is it just like laying on it?
It's like bolted into the ground. It's
Yeah.
a very sturdy bridge
Oh well.
with big old tin bolts.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, my favorite enemy isn't going to help me with this anyway. So, 20.
You got another 20?
No, well, total 20. I got a 14 plus 6.
Hey, a 20 hits. So you aim your rifle at it again, and go ahead and roll your damage.
15.
15. Okay. Okay. So you pick up your rifle and aim it conspicuously away from the bear on the who is to your right, and you fire off another shot, which cracks off in the woods, echoing all around you. It lands a hit, and you see a blood spray come up, and the Kalidah howls in rage at having lost its cub to the same weapon that's now attacking it. It's still up, though. And next up, then, will be Bumblespeaker.
Oh. Seeing as how it's a big, nasty, angry Kalidah, and Franklin might have that gun, but he is still just a squishy little human. I am going to charge up to the Kalidah and take a big swipe with a bear paw at it.
Okay.
I'm going to engage it in...
We're just gonna back and forth on this bridge. Dang it!
Right? There we go. I should have... Yeah. We should have just ran back the other way, waited for it to come on the bridge. Alright, let's see. Ooh.
23?
23.
For your... Oh, that'll hit.
Alright.
It'll hit the crap out of it, actually.
Oh, max damage. 12.
Nice.
Okay, you rush up to the Kalidah, angry and defiant that this creature that is somewhat a bear, but also a tiger, which offends your sensibilities as a good, honest Oz bear, a full Oz bear, and king of your local forest as well. And you raise out your claw and smack it across the face, sending it tumbling out of the underbrush onto the yellow brick road. You turn to face it, and it is between you and Clay now as well. And it shakes its head and is ready to attack now. So it is actually going to go after the one that did the most damage, and that would be Clay.
So it's... wait. I'm in
It's
I'm
going to
in
get an
melee.
attack of opportunity.
It's going to give me an attack of opportunity.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I smack it, and it's immediately going to turn around and go after the human.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I killed its baby.
It's angry and not very intelligent, probably, as well.
Probably
What's your
figures
AC?
it's gonna die anyway. It wants to kill me on its way out.
Franklin, what's your AC?
Um,
I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit you, but I just want
that would be an amazing 16. I got a 16.
Oh, no. Okay. Tom, first go ahead and do your attack of opportunity on it because it's going to leave your exact melee combat range.
Ooh. 8.
Okay. You're outraged that it has completely neglected you. It's almost the same size as you, but you're still bigger and a bigger threat, obviously. But it notices that the gun is a bigger problem with it. And
so my
as you
arms come down as it's running off.
Yep.
I'm like,
get in the tail. And unfortunately for Franklin,
No.
I got a very good roll with the pluses that this one got. So it's going to bite and grab your shoulder. And for damage, let's see.
Thus ends the journey of Franklin Clay. Now there's a bear wandering around the woods with a
I
rifle.
rolled the minimum damage on one of the die. Okay, you take 6 damage, and yeah, it's gonna be bad. The Kalidah has gripped your shoulder and is crunching down into your shoulder with its jaws.
Where? I don't even know where it puts the hit points. Oh, there it is up in the top left. How many points did I just take?
6 damage.
Ow!
We're gonna
Could
call
have
you
taken
Stumpy.
a lot more though, so you're fighting a very strong creature.
We're gonna call you Stumpy from now on.
Okay, so Franklin, it's now your turn again.
Well, I guess I'm gonna point blank blast this thing now.
All right, roll your attack.
You got much of a choice here. 16.
16. Okay, that hits. So roll your damage. You just barely made it, actually.
11.
11 damage. Okay, and you're using your rifle again.
Yeah.
So you scream in pain as it chomps on your shoulder, and you feel everything going into it. You are you right-handed or left-handed in it?
Right arm.
Your right arm? Okay. So you move it to the side, and you're not even trying to make an aim or anything, and you just release it into its leg and its back hindquarter, and it blows out the side of it. It's still standing, though, and it still has a grip, and it actually crunches down harder on your shoulder. You scream in pain again. Yeah, it's bad.
Let out a howl of pain.
Bumblespeaker, it's your turn.
How close to the bridge are they right now?
They
He just got off the bridge, right?
Yeah, you guys were on the bridge, and then it happened right after the bridge, so I would say maybe 10, 15 feet.
So is since I was right on the edge of the bridge, does that mean that Kalidah is still standing on the bridge right now, chomping on me?
The Kalidah's on. So you would be closest to the entrance of the bridge. I would be here, and he's right in between us. So the bridge is behind you.
Because he can't. No, he came from the other side that we came from originally.
I thought he came from the far
baby
side.
Came from behind you and was going to ambush you.
We got in between them. Yeah.
Gotcha. They were pinch shooting or whatever.
Right. They hunt in pairs as ambush predators. And
gotcha.
And this one was trying to teach its young until you blew it.
I see that the Kalidah has Franklin in his teeth.
Yes.
I am going to try my darndest to do a charging swipe and see if I can't knock that dude off the cliff.
Okay, so we'll do a contested roll as he tries to hang on, and you do.
For me, it's just going to be an attack.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do an attack then. So. We'll see if it's a really high one, then we can get him loose.
How's a natural 20 sound?
Oh yeah, the natural 20 is going to work. So as it has that horrible grip on your arm and shoulder, the bear comes by and punches it from underneath, lifting it up off and your arm out of its jaws, bloody, shredded, and in terrible condition and barely hanging on, unfortunately. And the Kalidah gets shoved off to the side. What's your damage on it?
15.
So it's been lifted literally up and off you, and your arm is now lying next to you in shreds and in very terrible condition.
Oh.
So it lands on its side, and it is actually prone now, near the edge near the bridge. That was a good roll. So it's going to give you an advantage on the next attack.
I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what am I going to do next? And all of a sudden I see Tom's roll pop up. I was like, oh, I might not have to do anything.
Okay, so it's prone on the ground, and it's going to have to get up again, and it looks really angry. It has to spend its action getting up after that amazing attack, and it's covered in blood and gore right now. It is now Franklin's turn again.
So my right arm is destroyed at this point.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
So I'm not even going to have the strength to lift my rifle. I'm going to pull with my left. I'm going to pull my revolver out and fire a shot at it.
Okay, roll your attack.
While I'm probably slumping to the ground slowly.
Okay.
Slowly bleeding out.
14.
14 does not hit it, unfortunately. You're getting woozy from your arm being caught in its mouth. And the shot goes wide, and it dodges out of the way nimbly.
Ooh.
And Bumblespeaker, it's now your turn.
I'm gonna try and swipe at it one more time to see if I can knock it off the ledge. But as I'm doing it, I'm gonna just start yelling at it. I'm starting to get angry.
Okay,
like,
all right.
Not just surprised, but I'm just gonna be like. You could have just let us pass! No! All this misfortune has befallen you!
He responds to you, I am as I was made and need to eat as well. And you can go ahead and and that's enough. That's all you have time for the interaction. So go ahead and do your attack.
Poke it in the eye with your crown.
Oh, 11.
11? Okay, that does not do it. That misses.
Oh no.
Yikes!
So you swipe.
Here lies poor Franklin Clay.
You rush up. You rush up and you swipe at it with your paws again. You lunge after it. Go ahead.
I'm like Franklin. You're all right. He would have to disengage with me to get to you again because I've closed with him again. So.
All right. So you go up and you attempt to try and get it and push him off the ledge, but it moves out of the way. You miss the attack, and you're both standing side to side on the ledge now. He is able to do his attack now, so he looks over at Franklin and sees that he's down and thinks probably, well, I'll get him in a minute now that he's wounded and most likely to be my dinner, and he's going to attempt to attack the King of Fiddlestick Forest. And I'm sure he's not going to get you with a 9, is he?
Not even close.
Yeah, but I forgot to add his add-on. Hang on. Let's see.
I mean 92.
Unless his plus is a 7, he's not going to hit me.
Which it is.
What?
Oh, plus 7. Doink.
Well, then that hits me.
Okay, so he's going
I just
to
like
hit
how it came into focus.
you. Plus 7. I'm not making it up. Excellent. I get to do damage. So you're going to take...
You sadist.
I got 2 1s again. He lunges at you to bite you, and your extremely tough hide and burly aesthetic of the bear that you are deflects most of the fang and bite, and you only take 2 damage.
He
doesn't get a damage bonus?
He doesn't have any pluses to damage?
Let me see.
He's got it.
So you get plus 7 to attack.
Right.
Oh, plus 4. I'm sorry.
Plus
6
4.
damage.
6 damage. I could take
Right.
6 damage.
We're trying to get ourselves killed here.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to die valiantly. It's okay.
If I'm going to go.
Franklin, it's now your turn. Franklin, you do feel terrible. However, your arm, while hurting and painful, it doesn't feel as bad as it did before. It
I'm
looks
gonna do worse.
Really it
I'm
looks
gonna
bad.
do
You should have
worse.
been mangled and hanging off. What?
It is, but it doesn't hurt as much as it did.
Because I'm going into shock.
He's going into shock. That's yeah.
And they won't let me have whiskey and Oz.
They
I
don't
have
have
a
any.
clear shot.
Yeah, you have a clear shot because they are standing next to each other at the ledge.
How many bears do I see right now?
You see one bear and one bear with a tiger head.
18!
And you know, okay, that hits. Roll your damage. That's more than enough to hit as a
13!
Okay, the force of your blast goes right out of your rifle and sends the Kalidah spiraling off the edge into the gorge below.
I
You get kicked back into the
flop
dirt. as well.
backwards completely and just sit my pistol on my chest.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw to keep from passing out from the pain, which is not as bad as it was before.
I'm Franklin Clay. Oh boy. Come on, baby, you can do it. Get out of the way, dice roller. Hold on. I gotta clear dice.
It's going to be really hard. Just so you know.
I'm asleep.
Okay, so as you hit the back, your shoulder gets jarred from the arm barely hanging onto it, and you do pass out. That now leaves King Bumblespeaker bloodied and bitten and surrounded with gore on the yellow brick road in the middle of a dark forest with a severely injured party member who's now unconscious.
He's also the only person that knows how to find things to heal me.
Yeah. Like the last
Behind
thing
you.
Franklin hears is, "Mr. Clay, no!" Like and just
Oh.
Hey,
Behind you is the poppy field, which is not going to get you any immediate assistance. But ahead of you, who knows what's available?
Well, I'm definitely not going to go and take a nap while he bleeds out. So
Okay.
Follow the yellow brick road, they said. huh?
right. I'm gonna follow that ancient sage advice of following the yellow brick road.
All right.
I am going to do my best to kind of scoop him up and toss him onto my back on all fours.
Okay. You can. I'd say that you have enough ability to manipulate your arms and digits that you can carefully put him on your back and walk with him down. And he is passed out at the moment, so at least he won't be feeling any pain.
Right, and whatever he dropped, I'm gonna just pick it up in my mouth and carry it. But
you're gonna start traveling east down the yellow brick road again
as quickly as I can without like jarring him too much.
I'd like you to make a perception check and tell me how long it takes you to make 10 or better. You're not bleeding out now, actually, which is unusual. So you got a 4, so that's about.
If only there was some ranger that could help us find some herbs off in the bushes.
There we go. My second roll was a natural 20, so 22.
You have the faint smell of smoke, and while still a bear, you know that humans like to burn things to keep warm, which would likely mean a settlement or a building or possible help nearby.
I guess I will start heading in that direction.
All right. The way is on the yellow brick road as you keep walking, or hurrying, I should say, and after about another 30 minutes, so about a 1 hour of Clay being passed out, you come across a small cottage in the woods with smoke coming out the top. And with that, we're going to skip back over to the other side of the group. And then the next morning in Red Larch, you guys wake up. It is now early morning. And as far as Gorbash is concerned, you were supposed to meet the ladies downstairs to go find this portal.
I pop my head at the shower and I walk down the stairs.
Okay.
I go downstairs. I'm completely unsurprised if I do not see the ladies down there. I'm guessing they're not there.
Yeah, the ladies are not downstairs. There is a small group of people, various adventurers and workers in town that have gone there for breakfast in the morning, which looks fairly good. Breakfast is included with your stay as well, if you'd like to stay and have it.
I do like food.
Okay, so you sit down at a table, annoyed that the ladies left, and you're not telling Gorbash, who's going to sit with you, I assume, as well?
Not immediately.
Okay, that's all right. You raise your hand, and the helmed horror comes walking and stands in front of you in all its terrible glory.
One breakfast special, please, and a cup of strong coffee.
All right, it walks off, and after a few minutes, it comes back carrying a steaming tray with a pretty solid loaf sitting on the plate. He sets it down in front of you and sets a flagon down with a bunch of hot coffee inside it. The food smells a bit like turkey, mashed peas, different bits of fowl are mixed together. There's also a little cup with a very spicy-smelling strong sauce on the side, which is obviously meant to be put over it. And in addition, there's a couple hard-boiled eggs and a few slices of bacon on there as well.
It's definitely a nice and hearty breakfast. I am A-okay with this.
You are eating crumble cake, the local specialty of Red Larch. It is, it's kind of like a prison meatloaf, but probably much tastier.
I should hope so.
It's food.
It's like the different scraps of pieces mixed together and put together, and it's eaten with the.
And it's one of those you try not to think too much about what you're eating.
But for you as a halfling who enjoys good food over like maybe highfalutin fancy stuff, it's definitely right up your alley of hearty, delicious, flavorful, strong, and it fills you up really well.
Yeah, and I'm also super interested in just how good that coffee is.
Oh yeah, and the coffee is also excellent as well.
She's just rubbing in the coffee. Just rubbing it in.
Oh yeah, poor Clay doesn't have it, but he's not there right now. Yet.
Hey, guess what? I also have liquor. Access to it, at least, even if I don't have it right now.
That's true, yeah. There's no liquor in Oz either. Gorbash, what are you doing?
I will be ordering some food, and then after depending on how long it takes for us to eat, I just want to head out.
It's a giant lettuce leaf.
You're not. Are you sitting with her or not sitting with her?
I will sit down. Who comes down first, though?
She does.
Okay, then I will go sit down next to her.
Okay, so you sit down next to her, and Branoa, as you're eating your delicious food, Gorbash comes down and sits and also does another order, and he receives the same food. And I guess, are you ordering the same drink, coffee?
Sure. So
Okay.
Yeah.
You get two of the same, then. You receive your crumble cake, your eggs, bacon, and your coffee, which all taste excellent. I'm not sure how a turtle's going to interpret it, but
it's food.
it's good. Excellent. Okay.
You can
So-
tell he likes
Well,
it
we
because he
should
goes.
head out as soon as possible.
All right.
No
Are you
pizza.
guys going to check the board and look at the map again, or you already looked at it, right, Gorbash?
I
Okay.
did.
All right.
That's
Gorbash
why I
got the intel, and Branoa knows the ladies left, and neither of you is talking about it or seems surprised that they're gone because it doesn't need to be said, apparently. And you head out the doors into the woods that is marked on the nearby map, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like you got. We need a map making skill here. Let's see which one of you can do nature. I guess.
I have a +0 to nature.
I can definitely do a nature check.
Why don't you both do nature checks and you can argue about who's going to do better on the map?
I mean, if nothing else, I have calligraphy tools.
You can mark the towns very eloquently.
Yeah.
I did better.
Ian, what'd you get?
9.
You get a 9? Okay. And what did Ian get? A 1?
No. He got a 9. I got a
Oh,
14.
okay. So, Gorbash, you got a 9. That means that you're not able to triangulate the position, as well as Branoa, who I guess is paying attention to the map more than you at the moment. You were still full from breakfast and trying to get with it in the morning. You notice that if you follow the game trail that's listed, if you can at least find that starting point, it should just be a few hours to the location where the portal is. It's marked with a large stone that you have to pass, a broken tree that's somewhere else in the corner of the map, and then the portal itself near a brook. And you guys start traveling, and we're going to see if anything happens on the way. Fantastic. I got a natural 1 on the last roll.
So literally nothing at all goes on.
It's actually a very pleasant walk in the woods. Do either of you have any tracking of any kind or any ability to look for... Well, you know what? Why don't you just make perception rolls? How's that? We'll do that.
Okay.
Since nothing is happening, I'll give you something else to do.
They're hobbit
It's a nice
walking.
quiet walk in the woods. The birds are
I got a
singing.
Look at the
23.
squirrel!
You got a what?
I got a
23.
24.
23. You do see a lot of footprints as you get closer towards the end of what you presume to be your walk, and you actually have skipped the stone marker at some point, and you see the broken tree that's been drawn fairly accurately on this map, which means that over the next hill should be the portal.
And the brook, right?
And the brook, correct.
Because
It's
I was
on the
like,
other side.
I was making sure to write that down.
Yeah, on the other side of the hill, there should be a brook, which you should be able to hear in the distance from now, a babbling brook.
Okay. I'm going to look towards Gorbash. Well, it definitely looks like the ladies came this way.
You do see footprints and lots of footprints off in the distance.
Gotta love people.
Yeah, it looks like they also weren't the only ones. There's way more than 3 sets of footprints here.
There is, yes.
So, definitely no idea what to expect. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I don't mind.
All right, so as you go over the hill...
I take out my club.
Take out your club?
Yep.
All right, that's fine. You take out your club and you walk over the hill, and it's a good thing you do because you see in front of you, down near the brook, a giant tear in space and a figure standing in front of it.
What does the figure look like?
The figure is small, about 2.5 feet, orange-skinned, and is staring up in wonder with a creature at its side. You're far enough away that you can't tell exactly what it is yet.
Does that look like anything to you?
I wasn't there with you. I was
Oh.
like, no, you go first.
There's something. How far away is it?
I would say probably 80 feet away, down the hill that you're on towards. Like you have the complete advantage right now.
Gotcha. Brianna, there's something
Renoa.
down. Oh, Brinoa, sorry. There's
It's okay. I was going to correct him,
something
but once I got close.
down here, and then I'll walk up. So that's about 60 feet away from me.
Okay.
I'll kind of carefully come up and like, there's something? Like, what is something?
You see what you were what you were told to look for, the portal, which is less a portal than a giant, massive tear through the fabric of space. It is 12 feet tall and tears diagonally down 12 feet to end 6 inches off the ground. It is pitch black from the tear all the way up to the edges of reality where everything starts and you can see the forest around it behind it. There's a slight haze around the corners where the black inky darkness reaches the sides, and you see all around it little bits of floating grass, flowers, tufts of dirt, debris, maybe a twig or two. And the brook that's behind it, you see as it flows down, it actually arcs up when it reaches the gravity well of the portal or tear. And then as it continues going down, it ends back and into the ground behind it. And you see a small goblin with a hyena standing in front and gazing up in wonder at this marvelous nature, beautiful piece of nature for all intents and purposes. It's beautiful. And also terrifying as well.
Well, that definitely is something.
That's not a normal portal.
I was gonna say, aren't you the one who's gone through the Feywild?
That's not normal.
All right.
I mean, really, what is normal?
That is a good question. This is not my normal.
Okay. So you don't want. So you have recognized that you're out of your depth. This is not anything like what you are accustomed to or ready for. And you both do see the goblin that is sitting and speaking softly. Do either of you speak goblin?
Nope.
No.
Okay, well then it is speaking a language you don't understand, which is goblin, and to its hyena below next to it.
So, my dear, I don't like goblins.
I mean, does anybody accept other goblins? And even then, that's kind of questionable.
Good thought. I cast Frostbite.
You cast what?
Frostbite on the hyena.
Okay.
What did the hyena do to you?
Go ahead and roll your attack
It's
on it.
a save on Constitution.
A save on its constitution? Okay, let's see
13.
what its constitution is.
You got a 1?
I got a 1!
So,
So
Do we need to get you some more dice?
no, it's okay. I'm just
On
going
a-
with Ian's luck this game because he enjoyed the game.
We
It's
don't
fine.
want him to be rolling well. We want
I'm
him to win.
happy that I'm rolling poorly, honestly. It makes Ian happy too, so it's good for the game. Anyway, so what does this spell do, sir?
it's actually a cantrip,
Okay.
which is nice. On a failed save, the target takes a 1d6 cold damage, and it has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of the next turn.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your damage. Please don't be a lot.
4.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so as you're far distance away and the goblin is peacefully gazing up at this and talking quietly to its hyena, it looks down as it sees a little cloud of frost appear to its lower left, and its hyena immediately gets stiffer and stiffer and stiffer and then falls over cold and lands on its side, almost frozen. You hear sad yipping as it falls on its side. It turns angrily and looks around into the woods behind it. Roll initiative.
My initiative is 14.
And a hyena is definitely faster than a goblin.
And what did you get, Ian?
I got a 17.
17. All right. Start. Okay, the hyena goes first, which isn't going to do it a whole lot of good because it took 4 damage and got frozen to the heal. I don't want that much damage.
Let it
4
go.
damage.
Let it go.
There. No, I'm using the encounter builder over here, and it's helping a lot.
I think he's telling me to let it go because I'm still upset that he attacked the hyena without provocation.
It was
Okay.
a frozen joke. That's all.
Oh.
I didn't even get it. Ridiculous. Okay.
I went for lowest common denominator.
But it is frozen too.
So the frostbite doesn't last long because it's a cantrip, and the little cloud dissipates, and the hyena immediately starts to feel a little better, and it yips softly and stands up and turns around behind it and snarls. But that's all it gets to do because that's its only turn. So now it's Gorbash's turn.
I'm going to stay at that 60 feet with my club in my hand and do another frostbite on it.
On the hyena?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead, and I will make the roll, actually, because it's my turn to do it. Let's see. What do I need to make to save?
13.
A 13? Well, I got an 11, so I don't make it. Well, it's 12 with the +1. So the cloud forms up again around the hyena, and it completely freezes solid this time. What, 2?
2 damage.
2 damage? It's dead. It clops over completely dead in a frozen lump. And as it lays in the ground, it exhales its last breath in front of you and moves the flowers ahead of it slightly, and it is dead.
You're trying to make us feel sorry for a hyena that's with a goblin.
It hasn't done anything yet.
I know!
I mean, this is Forgotten Realms, right? So,
and I'm also from an area where you definitely don't trust goblins, so they're dead.
You're right. It's fine. You don't know what this one was going to do, though.
Right. You might have killed the only good hyena in Faerun.
I don't think that's true. All right, so it's dead. Good job. Brianna, it's your turn.
Brinoa.
I'm reading Brianna on the sheet. I wrote Brinoa so I could say it correctly on the card, but when I see it on the sheet, it looks like I correct it to Brianna.
I know.
I'm going to call you by your character's name, and I'm going to get it right, because I've gotten Franklin right, and I've gotten Bumblespeaker right, so...
He did today. He did today. That's true.
Anyways, so from where we're at, is this just like plains, or are there trees?
There are trees around the side. Like, it's a small clearing with the brook coming through it, but around it there are more trees. Yes, you're in a forest.
Okay. I am going to essentially try to hide in the trees, because you know what? Not my fight.
Okay, sure. You don't have to make any saves or anything to do that. You're far enough away that it probably isn't able to do anything to you anyway.
But I wanted to use my +6 to stealth.
Well, you could stealth still. Maybe something else around won't find you then.
Oh, fair enough. And I got a 21.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty hidden.
You effortlessly slide into the underbrush around you and make nary a sound, disappearing and leaving Gorbash standing by himself, ready to do damage to a goblin that is snarling in anger at him.
For good reason.
And now it's the goblin's turn. It looks at you, and it looks down at its pet and looks extremely upset, as it would because it was its pet. It looks back at you, snarls, and dashes into the portal.
Ooh.
Huh.
As the last thing you see is it stepping into the blackness and completely disappearing from view.
Gotcha.
You are now standing by yourself, and Brinoa, you are standing in the underbrush, completely silent and invisible to him.
I'm going to look around, and do I see her?
No, she's hidden.
Okay. Brinoa, you can come out now.
Why?
Because the portal is empty. There's no more goblin.
I'm gonna kind of like poke up. I'm mostly kind of like looking. I'm like, really? I'm like, the portal is empty? I thought that's what we came here for.
The goblin, there's no more goblin.
Got it. So are you done killing things that haven't done anything to you yet?
It's a goblin.
Whew. You are getting guilted, bro.
Hey, it's kind of like trying to get you to feel sorry for the Rancor handler after Luke killed the Rancor. It's still a Rancor.
And for me, it's a goblin.
Yeah, but it wasn't the goblin you killed. It was the hyena.
It's a goblin.
Anyways, off track.
The portal still stands in front of you, looking eerily beautiful and terrifying at the same time.
I walk to the portal.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk behind him and like slightly to the side. Like I want full view, but I also don't want to be right in front.
Of course, as you get up to the portal, your stomach actually starts to raise up a little bit as the gravity lessens as you get closer to it, and the laws of nature seem to go in reverse. That would explain why the river is bounding upwards and upwards. You both weigh more than the river does in individual droplets, so you and the flotsam and jetsam land version are hanging around the portal that don't weigh anything and are raising up into the air around it. But it makes you a little giddy to feel yourself get lighter and move a little easier as you get closer to the portal. Also, or tear, I should say. It's not really a portal, as you have pointed out, Gorbash.
This is not normal. And I keep walking.
So, Gorbash, can you make a Arcana check, probably, for magic and other things? Okay. Please make an Arcana check regarding the portal.
God.
Gateway, whatever.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay, so that's not very good, but I will give you that as you walk around and investigate it, you notice that it does appear to like exist on a two-dimensional plane, and when you enter to the side of it, you do see that the black of it comes out in a small sphere from the other side of like the tear itself. There's like a small black sphere when you enter it and view it from a 90-degree angle on the other side, which is unusual to you as well. Not really important, that's a feature that you notice of the hair in space.
I'm going to take my club and just do a poke.
Okay. So you poke it, and you actually feel it pull you a little bit towards it. You're able to resist it. You actually feel like the act of putting it in is what's starting to pull you in. But
Gotcha.
You are still able to pull it out if you want to. You can definitely feel it gripping you to go inside.
I'm going to sigh and say, for Noah, time to have some fun. And I walk in.
Okay, you walk into the portal. Bernoa, Gorbash steps into the portal and completely disappears from your view.
I'm gonna wait maybe like a minute or so. Like I'm just listening for any like screams. Just want to make sure, like, if any weird rippling happens, bright flashes or anything, and I'm like...
I'm pleased that you've said how long you're going to wait. That's very important, and you'll find out why in a little bit. But all you hear is the babbling brook, and it's very quiet and peaceful in the forest. The sound of it doesn't even make a sound the portal itself has no sound of any kind. And
then I'm just like, well, I guess we're doing this. I mean, I did say I would investigate. And then I'm gonna walk in.
All right.
It's less of just like a walk and more of a saunter.
Okay, you saunter into the portal, confident that you know what's going to happen. And now, both of you enter the portal, and immediately your stomach lurches as you are in an extremely fast free fall. You gasp to breathe, but there is no air. A violent purple tunnel is all around you, and you catch just enough view of the black space surrounding it as you near a curve and slam into the wall of the tunnel. I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Thirteen.
You both got 13?
Yep.
Okay. You are going so fast, you slam right into the bend of the wall and continue moving, rushing along through an amazingly fast portal experience that is probably the most terrifying thing you've ever experienced in your life as you free fall through it. You crash into the side, limbs flailing, and clatter and bang from one side of the tunnel to the other and you can try making another dexterity saving throw after I finish reading this. You desperately attempt to find any way to keep your limbs safe and from breaking as you flail around and bounce back and forth. Without any air, you have no way to scream as well either. You take... Gorbash, you take 2 damage. For Noah, you take 5 damage.
Oof.
And then I'd like you both to make dexterity saving throws one more time before you possibly lose consciousness as you get whipped around this violent...
25.
25. You manage to push off from the side of the wall, which doesn't necessarily feel sturdy, but resists you as you move towards it. You use the momentum when you get to the other side to push back again, and you kind of center yourself. And before you start to lose consciousness, you see a brightness on the other side as you propel yourself forward.
I got
And
an 8.
Gorbash? What's that?
8.
You got an 8? Okay. You continue crashing around. I'd like you to actually make a intelligence check, please.
$13.
13. You remember that you're a turtle and that you can pull your limbs in and possibly reduce your damage in your shell.
I'm gonna suck myself inside my shell.
All right, you suck yourself in, and your items that you're holding do kind of float along with you, and you start spinning in your shell and getting banged around. And
Camera!
Mario Party.
No, this is ping pong. I'm hitting
what,
the walls.
so what does going in your shell offer you for your protection?
As an action, I can withdraw, and your shell, I gain a +4 bonus to AC, and advantage on strength and con saving throws.
Okay.
But I have a disadvantage on dex saving throws. I can't take reactions, but it does raise my AC up to 25.
Okay. Well, because you didn't
wait, I forgot I have it. That's with shield.
24.
So it's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
All right.
Yeah, it's 20.
Well,
sorry.
That's your AC. Got it.
AC is 21 at the moment without a shield.
Okay. You still take damage because you failed the dexterity, the second one, I believe. What did you get again?
8.
8. Yeah, you
8.
failed it again. So you're going to take 6 damage this time.
Oh.
So that's a total of 8. And you are spinning wildly in your shell down as you bang. It's less painful now, at least, because you've minimized the amount of flailing that you have in your limbs as you violently go through it. But again, you start going towards the light as well automatically and start to pass out as well. And now we're going back to Oz with the other party member who's been passed out and the bear who end up outside a woodcutter's cottage is what it looks like in the woods. And I have a description here. So it's in Munchkin Land still. It's all painted dark blue with trimmings of lighter blue. There's a neat little blue fence around the yard and several blue benches that have been placed underneath the shady blue trees, which mark the line between the forest and where a plain starts. There's a blue lawn before the house, which has a good-sized building, and in front of the house there's a workshop with an opening inside it that you can see working tools inside it. There's also a lean-to on the side as well. And the smoke is coming from the chimney. And the only one conscious at the moment is King Bumblespeaker. That is some very good roleplay, Mr. Franklin Clay.
Once I get up to the edge of the property line where the fence is, I'm going to try to gently lay Clay down in front of the fence, like the front gate.
Yeah.
Something
just drop him on the yellow brick road and just plop.
Right. Does the brick road... Does it go by the house or does it go to the house?
It goes by the house and up to it. It's an important individual.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna lay Franklin down in front of the entrance to the gate, and then I'm gonna drop the guns next to Franklin.
All right.
As gently as I can. I'm gonna stand up on my hind legs and start calling and be like, "Hello, is anyone home? I have an emergency. Please, somebody be home."
You hear rustling inside the house, and the door opens immediately, and you see a stout and short man with his sleeves rolled up above his elbows, exposing muscular arms. He has an apron that is almost all the way down to his feet and looks like it would trip him, and in addition, a very long beard all the way down as well. His head is bald, and his ears stick out from the side of his head like 2 fans, and over his eyes, which are bright and merry looking, and concerned now as well, are as a pair of spectacles. He opens the door and sees a giant bear standing near the doorway and goes, "Oh my, yes, hello. What's the emergency? How can I assist you?"
My friend and I were attacked in the forest We drove the creature off, but he is direly injured. I need your help.
Where is he? He immediately steps out looking concerned and ready to render aid in any way he possibly can. He sees Franklin in the where you've laid him and says, "Oh, of course." He immediately rushes over and says, "Help me bring him into the house," and starts lifting him up and motioning for you to help him.
I get down low enough that he can throw him over my neck, and I'll walk him into the...
He throws Franklin
if I can make
over.
it into the house. Otherwise, I'll get him to the doorway.
It's a very tight fit because you're a very large creature, but you can make it in with a little squeezing. He'll motion you to bring him in. Oh my goodness! Of course, we must help him, and you get your head in with the body. Well, not body, person who's sleeping. Not a body yet, anyway. And he takes him off and he lays him down on the floor inside what, as you do a cursory glance, is a tin shop. Scraps of tin of all shapes and sizes lay scattered around the workshop. There are hammers, anvils, soldering irons, and a charcoal furnace, and many other tools that a tinsmith would work with. Against the side walls are stout workbenches, and in the center of the room is a long table. At the end of the shop, which adjoin the dwelling, there is a small cupboard as well. He motions to you to help him to come in, and you squeeze your way into the small building. And he asks you to help him put him on the long table in the center of the room.
I do what I can in the tight space, and then I try to find a place to sit that's as out of the way as I can get.
Okay, excellent. He says, "So I'll do what I can to render aid as well. It looks like his arm is too far gone, and you'll have to make a decision for him." He rushes to the side of the room, and he starts. He knocks the cupboard, and you think you hear a cough come from the cupboard, which is unusual to you. Mm. And he starts rifling through a basket and pulls out a small jar that he puts to the side. And he's got various powders and potions and things in his hand. And he comes walking back to you and he says, "This arm is too far gone." He's your friend, I assume?
He was a visitor to my forest. He is from the Emerald City. He's sent by Scarecrow. Please do whatever you can to save his life.
Of course. We'll do anything that His Majesty would need me to do. My job as a tinsmith is to help people as they need. I've helped previous people as well stave off more serious injuries than this. I have this jar which can heal his injury, but it won't be able to put his arm to rights in the shredded state that it's in. Mm. So if you would mind, I would like to actually fashion him a tin arm, and we will begin the surgery immediately.
If it means that he will have all of his ability that he used to, I'm sure
yes, of course, yes. I've done it twice before to two different men, and I have actually improved the design. He rushes to the corner and begins quickly working. He's starts pulling down sheets, wrapping them and heating them, pounding them. He makes very spindly arms at first, and then as he works them, they turn into a more natural-looking form and thicker. He's got the digits and the hand already ready to be put on the arm that he's making, and a little, I forget, I'm not a mechanical person, so it's hard for me to come up with names, but
that's an elbow. That's
an elbow. Yes, but we're talking about a mechanical part now.
Oh.
A circular mechanical part, like a gear of some kind.
Like a ball bearing?
A ball bearing would probably work, yeah.
There you go.
And especially
pivot, whatever.
Well, and the digits. He finishes fashioning it up very quickly. You're surprised at how quickly it's being done. You would think that fashioning something this complicated and difficult as a prosthetic would take a long time. Even as a bear, it looks like a complicated process, but he works quickly and manages to get everything completed in a very short amount of time. He comes back to you with an arm that is the exact same length as the one that Franklin has, and he pulls out an axe and says, "I'm going to have to cut off his arm. If he wakens, well, let's try this." He pulls out a powder, and he sprinkles it over his face, and Franklin falls into a deeper sleep. Okay, I picked the right one this time. I'll explain everything later. This is an emergency.
I'm just for safety's sake, because I don't know what that powder does. I'm going to lean forward and just put my paw right on his chest and kind of hold him to the
Sure,
table.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make sure it doesn't happen. He goes, okay. He gingerly pushes the arm out to the side and raises the axe and deftly brings it down over the arm and slices the rest of the arm off. You notice that there is no additional blood, and Franklin does not waken. He seems to have been stabilized, but in addition, the limb itself and the part that's left over on the body doesn't actually seem to... It doesn't seem freshly wounded anymore. After removing it, it just stays exactly the same, which may not be unusual to you, but you just did have an enormous fight with a Kalidah. So you're noticing, though, that it doesn't seem as bad as it was before and didn't get any worse with the chop, which is an unusual feature that I'm mentioning because you notice it. He takes out the jar, which is labeled glue on the front of it, which you can't read, but he explains helpfully it says glue. He pulls out a little brush and he immediately starts working it over the shoulder blade and the wound area. And then he takes the tin arm and shoves it on, and you hear a small clicking sound or smacking sound as it enters. He says, there, that has stopped all the bleeding, and he now has a new improved arm. I think this will work quite well for him. The people that have received them before have been very pleased with their improved tin apertures.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. My services are yours should you ever make your way to the other side of the poppy fields and to Fiddlestick Forest. I am the king there. I'm called Bumblespeaker. Who are you?
He turns to look at you, and now that the emergency's over, he's kind of noticed your crown, and he says, "Oh, Your Majesty, it is a pleasure to have you here. My name is Kuklip. I am the tinsmith in the nearby Munchkin town. I prefer my forest here, but I am a person of some renown, I believe. You have heard of the Tin Man?
Oh, yes, of course.
I am the one who had fashioned all of his limbs and body parts after the Wicked Witch of the East chopped off his limbs in retaliation for his love for a Munchkin girl. And in addition for Captain Fighter as well, who met the same fate. I have not seen either of them since, of course, but I have heard tales of their exploits.
Yes, they are very adventuresome, aren't they?
Yes. In the meantime, let's wake him back up. And he just looks down and he slaps Franklin's face a couple times until he starts coming around. You don't take any damage from it.
Whiskey!
Slap, slap, slap.
No, Franklin, it is Bumblespeaker.
Bear! The bears! There's a talking bear, and my house, and strawberries, and... Oh, my...
Kuklip says, his name is Franklin?
Yes, Franklin Clay. He is some sort of
Where am I?
lawman.
I think he could use a drink. He goes to the side and he pulls out, he bumps the cupboard again, and you hear a sneeze come from the cupboard. You definitely hear something this time. And he goes to the corner where there's a pitcher of water, and he pours into a glass, and he comes rushing back, and he says, Mr. Franklin, wake up, sir. Drink this. And he holds the glass up to your lips to drink.
What? Give me a second, man. Oh.
He says, I need you to stay calm, but I've given you an improvement.
What now? Take the water.
You take the water in your new robot hand. Your hands grasp around. You can't feel with them directly, but they work as if it was your own hand without any issue. It makes a tinkling sound as it hits the tin glass, and you realize that is your hand.
This is all just a really bad dream.
You were
Bad dream.
very much hurt by the Kalidah, and this gentleman was the closest person. He did what he had to do to save you.
My hand is not made of metal.
Something like that, like a robot hand, you know?
My hand is not made of metal.
It is now, I'm afraid to tell you.
Okay. Remember the woods. And remember my guns.
They are out in front of the yard. They are safe. And you still have both of your hands to fire them, thanks to this gentleman here.
I have one of my hands fire them. I have this here apparatus. Apparently, I thank you. I guess.
Clip looks at you and he says, "I think you'll find it much an improvement upon your old hand. This hand will never tire, will be able to lift much more weight than your old one, and will give you excellent strength."
Can't feel my hand.
No, it is not perfect, but it is alive. I assure you, it is a part of you now, and a permanent addition is so. One final thing, and he rushes back to that cupboard area, bumps it again, but you don't hear anything this time. And he pulls out an oil can, and he says, "You do need to keep this oiled, however. It is liable to rust."
Oh, great. Well, thank you,
Cool Clip.
Cool Clip. You Munchkin?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I am a munchkin. If you're interested, I would be happy to replace any of your other limbs as well.
No. I'm quite content with my other limbs. But I'll keep that in mind in the future. Where is my other arm?
Oh, yes, of course. It's on the ground, and he says, "You don't have any need for this, do you?"
If you don't mind, I'm gonna maybe take that outside and just bury it.
He says, "Are you sure? I have over in that corner," and he points to the other corner of the room, and there's a barrel, and there are actual body limbs sticking out of the barrel.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and just take my arm with me, if you don't mind.
Oh, very well, of course.
I appreciate you fixing me up here, and I just need a minute to kind of wrap my head around everything that's going. You just stay here, Bear King. You're fine. I'll be outside for a minute and kind of just keep talking as I make my way to the door.
Okay.
And,
So you're
thank you for this shiny new metal contraption on my arm, and just step outside and close the door. And
he seems very happy with your praise. You're freaking out. Poor Clay. So he goes outside, and Ku Klip says, "I believe he seems a little unused to his arm."
I think it will take him some time to grow accustomed to the fact that we have made some alterations to him.
Yes, we did not do it with his permission, but it was to save his life and give him a workable arm as well. I think in time he will notice its extreme usefulness.
I hope that is true. I would hate to send him back to Scarecrow and have him disappointed in what he has found this way.
Oh, I think the Scarecrow will be pleased to see somebody so like his other friend as well. In the meantime, let me get you something to eat.
Ooh.
I have some berries and some honey and bread, which I assume that the King of the Forest will find suitable.
Honey, you say?
Ah, of course, honey, as it is. He goes into the other side in the lean-to area, and he pulls at the pantry. You hear another sneeze in the cupboard in the corner.
Do you have a companion here?
A companion? Oh, yes, of course. He's in the cupboard. Do feel free to introduce yourself if you wish. He's a bit of a cross fellow.
Hello? I'm going to reach out a claw and kind of pull one of the doors open.
Okay. Before we do that, Mr. Clay, are you just outside freaking out that you have a robot arm?
No. I'm settling into it.
Okay.
I'm going to take it with stride, and I'm figuring out that it does everything that I can do and what I can do with it.
Absolutely anything that you had done before except feel. That is the only thing it can't do.
He's gonna walk around the corner and find a shovel and start giving his arm a eulogy.
I'm gonna go bury my arm somewhere.
You can easily do that. The lean-to on the outside, where the little addition has tools in it, and you can find a shovel in there, and you can bury your arm and give it a full funeral if you wish.
No, I'm just gonna practice my.
It makes little tinkling sounds as you move the digits.
Just give it the 5-gun salute for your arm. One for each digit.
He's gonna fire off his last 21 bullets.
Bumblespeaker, as you open the door, you see a very cross-looking bust of a man staring back at you. Imagine like a a small pedestal,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of it is the neck and head with an extremely disheveled hairstyle staring crossly back at you. And he says, "What do you want?"
You are Mr. Clip's friend?
"I'm not his friend. He's making me a new body."
Oh, a customer then.
"Well, he does it for free, I assume. He's never asked for any money before."
Oh, what happened to your old body?
"Well, my name was Nick Chopper, and the Wicked Witch of the East chopped off my limbs and leaving me as is. And I got them replaced slowly until I chopped my head off, and now here I am."
That sounds like a rather painful process.
"It was more an inconvenience. Please shut the door."
All right. And I just kind of lean up and close the door.
You close the door, and you hear a sigh of contentment, and it gets quiet again.
I'm gonna go find the honey. And
He comes
Mr.
out and he
Clip.
says, "Oh, did you meet Nick Chopper?"
I did. He seems to want to be left on his own.
He's been in there for a few years now. He prefers to stare at the wood greens and think of naughty problems. But he's a very disagreeable individual without his body, so I've undertaken the adventure of attempting to get him new limbs. Whenever somebody has a mishap of some kind and they come here for a replacement or help, I collect it in the hopes of making him a new body. I actually made a body previously. I call him Chopfit, and he's left a while ago. He was no good for me as a servant, and now I'm trying to undertake to make another one for the other head.
Come back in the house.
Oh,
You come back in the house, and you see Clip has cleaned off the center table from your impromptu surgery and has served bread, honey, fruit, and water to the bear, and has enough for you as well, too.
I'm just sitting on the floor and
Oh, Mr. Clay, or Mr. Franklin, because you haven't said his last name yet. Welcome back. Is your arm working admirably?
Seems like work like a charm.
Excellent. Please accept my apologies for
No.
fitting it with you without your permission.
No, you did what you had to do. It's all good. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Please come and eat some of the food with your friends.
I'll snack with you here, but unfortunately, not to disrespect you and the time that you spent and the resources fixing this for me here, but we're gonna have to get moving. We're on a little bit of a dire business here for.
How did you lose your arm besides me removing it? What attacked you?
Just something in the woods.
it was
It won't be a problem
Kalidah.
anymore for anybody.
Yes, this is a Kalidah forest. You would be safe here if you would like to rest for the evening.
Are you saying there are more of those?
They hunt in pairs, and there are several of them that live in the forest. I've avoided them for the most part. They do not bother me here.
Check my pocket watch real quick. What time is it?
It is late afternoon, towards evening.
How far to this town of yours would you say it is?
It is about a 4-hour walk to the
Wait,
town.
I don't think I was conscious, was I? I didn't hear that part.
Well, you've been.
Is there a town nearby?
Yes, there is a town nearby. It is a 4-hour walk out of the forest. 2 hours will take you out of the forest, and 4 hours to the nearest settlement in the east in Munchkin Land. Apparently, there's some commotion happening there, but nobody comes out and tells me too much lately.
Well, if we hightail it right about now, that'll clear the forest in time for us to not have to worry about getting bit by more tiger bears.
Unless we are delayed by them while we are traveling through the forest.
Well, if you would like, I could pack you some food, and you're welcome to take a couple of these powders for healing. I believe they heal. When the Wicked Witch of the East was killed by Dorothy, I ransacked her house and took as many magic provisions as I could, including this glue and these powders, and I've only found out what a few of them do. I've got the sleeping powder and a couple healing ones. You're welcome to them if you wish.
Oh, can't see how a couple of those wouldn't hurt. I don't know. I mean, I suppose this this gateway ain't going nowhere, but again, the longer it takes for us to get there and figure out what's going on, the more people and the more of your kind might end up falling prey to it.
I am willing to continue on if you are, Mr. Clay.
All right. He says, of course. He says, I will pack you some provisions on the way. And he puts some cheese, bread, fruit. He actually pulls out a little tin can that he seems to have fashioned. And you see him putting honey into it and putting a cloth and tying it off of the top so that it can't get out. And putting everything in like a gunny sack and getting it ready for you to take with you. And he takes some more tin bottles, and he puts the powders inside it that are presumably healing potions. They work as healing potions, but they're healing powders.
Yeah. One of them there's something about sleeping powder too?
A sleeping powder? Yes, this one. Did you want this one as well?
Yeah, it might come in handy if you don't mind.
Certainly. He pulls out another one, and he
got a slumbering friend that I might need to put back to sleep at a certain point in time.
Sure, certainly. Anything to help. He etches an S in it really fast, and it's gorgeously done for being done in like a half second. It's like very finially and for sleeping powder. Put it all together. He gives you the sleeping powder, and he provides everything with you. And he says, "Then I wish you a safe journey. If you are ever in need of assistance or you need another replacement limb, please do not hesitate to come back. I am happy to fashion you another one."
I'll be sure to swing by and pay my respects and appropriate appreciation once time permits.
Of course.
Thank you for saving my companion.
Of course, Your Majesty. Please feel welcome to come whenever you can. And if I am ever in Fiddlestick Forest in the west, I would be happy to visit.
You will be more than welcome to come and visit.
All right, and then you guys leave out the door and start traveling east again.
I will thank you along the journey, by the way, for saving my life.
Wonderful. So you two travel to the east. You make it out of the forest without incident. It was quiet for a while, and then apparently nobody wanted to mess with you after taking out two Kalidahs, a cub and the parent as well. As you travel to the east, you do notice that the blue is getting lighter in color, although it's still blue. It turns less from forest into farmlands, and the rolling hills of blue and gold of the fields for farmland is starting up, which means settlements nearby. And way off in the distance, you see a gentleman standing off the yellow brick road in a small field looking at a giant tear in space.
Remember not to get too close now, Bear King. Let's go see what all the hubbub is.
Yes,
all right.
That does seem to be what we have been looking for.
Yep.
There is a man wearing a white cape, white pants, white shoes that have no mud or a speck of anything on them. He has long white hair and a circlet of white gold on his forehead, and he is stroking his short white beard and pondering the tear in space that you see. It looks just like the other one does, but on the opposite side. It is pitch black, hazes on the edges. It looks beautiful with floating debris around it as well. Blue flowers, blue grass. There's no brook on this side, but it isn't too far off the yellow brick road either.
That ain't something you see every day.
Indeed not.
Hello over there.
The man turns around and looks at you and says, "Oh, hello. Have you come to see the wonder as well?"
Something like that. We're gonna see it from back here a little bit, if you don't mind.
Why? He looks at you with kindness and understanding, but still asks the question, why?
I look over. My friend here, you see, rumor is that if his kind gets too close, they forget how to talk.
Oh, the beasts. He actually turns and starts walking towards you and says, "Hello." He looks and sees your crown and he says, "You are
I am
king?"
Yes, Bumblespeaker of Fiddlestick Forest on the other side of the poppy field.
The creatures that have been affected by the area of effect around this portal are usually very small and very petite. I believe that if you were to get near it, your size and possibly your station would keep you protected. It is the magic of Oz. An unusual effect, of course. But I believe you would be okay if you went near it.
What did you say your name was there, stranger?
Oh, me?
Ah,
I am the Count.
the Count, huh?
It is a pleasure to meet you. He bows deeply in your direction.
Well, yes, your royalness.
Oh, please, no, you do not need to call me your royalness. Just
Everyone around here's got a title.
the Count. I was actually about to perform an experiment. Would you care to observe?
Go ahead, Franklin. I will wait here on the road and watch.
We won't get too close, and
All right.
so you both walk back towards the portal, but keep a conspicuous distance away. He stops about 30 feet away. He has a carpet bag on the ground that he actually lifts up, and as he lifts it up, 4 legs pop out from the bottom and form a table. He opens the bag and he looks inside. He pulls out some He pulls the top up and contraptions come out. We've got the little spinny thing. We've got the tubes for scientific experiments and whatnot. He pulls out a couple powders and he tosses one towards the portal. He looks at the effect. He goes, interesting. He waves his hand over the portal and says a few words that you don't understand. And he makes a couple gestures in an attempt to do reaction. He says, there's no reaction to it yet, but let me try something else. He does another final wave and a loud booming voice says something and the portal responds. It reverberates and sends a shockwave out. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw to stay on your feet, and he's going to do the same. He failed.
17.
You passed. He falls flat on his ass, right backwards, and says, my word! And the portal itself seems to shudder, and it gets a little bit bigger. He looks at it with wonder and says, that was not my intention.
Yeah.
He stands up again, brushes himself
I'll
off.
help him up off the ground.
Thank you. Whatever this is, it is not native to this plane of existence or this world. It is not from here. I have one final experiment I'd like to perform if you're willing.
Wait a second now. So, what exactly is it you do around here?
Me?
Yeah.
I am a procurer of magic artifacts and studier of mysterious phenomena. This would, of course, be within my quarters. He goes into the bag and he pulls out a little snow globe, or like on Victorian mantles they would have a clock under a little dome. I forget what that's called. A glass dome. And inside the dome, there's it looks like a little tiny golden weather vane, and it has little scoops on it to react. He has his hand over it, and he pulls it out, and as he puts it in front of the portal, he waves his hand up, and it starts spinning uncontrollably, and spinning and spinning and spinning, and he says, something from that side
backing up slowly
is coming here and leaking out into the world around us, and I cannot gauge what it is other than it is very strong. How curious. And as he's speaking, out tumble comes a blue-faced turtle, battered and unconscious almost, in his shell.
You can't see the face, remember? I'm in the shell.
No, you pop out and you immediately expand out onto the ground, making a splat sound as you land. And both of you see this and go, my word! And nothing else comes out of the portal yet.
Maybe you don't do what you just did either anymore, huh?
He points the cloche, that's what it's called, the cloche, I believe. He looks at it and he holds it in front of you and he says, this merely measures what comes out of it. This one had no effect upon the portal whatsoever. I will agree with you that the previous one may have done something, but I believe it was merely an after effect of what I was attempting to do when I tried to close it.
What did you say? What did you say? I'm just going to stop you right there. What did you say your name was again? And are both of them are just laying on the ground out cold?
No, just the turtle is down there right
turtle,
now.
Okay.
He says, "I am the count, but we must help them first."
All right, you count this your whatever royalty that you are. I am officially placing this area under jurisdiction of the Emerald City.
And I'm
gonna need you. I'm gonna need you to step back from whatever apparatus it is that you've set up here, and you're gonna need to stop with these shenanigans that are obviously not helping with anything going on.
Oh, of course. I do respect your
Pull out a card
jurisdiction here as well. He puts the cloche away, and he starts rifling through and pulls out a powder and says, "May I heal the creature that came out at the very least?"
No, you may not. Not yet. I've seen other creatures that have come out, I think, from maybe this very same portal, and last one tried to eat my fingers. Here, take this. Here's my card. This got my information on it. I want you to keep walking down this road back to the village and find an inn, and me and my bear friend back there, we're going to come find you in a little while, all right?
Well, as you wish. There are no inns in the Munchkin land, though. But somebody will
just go sit outside the town for a spell.
As you wish. He looks at the card and he sees that it says the police force of Oz and has your name, Franklin Clay, written on it in very beautiful. It's on a light green paper and it's got embossed edges on the side. It has Oz in the corner and the lettering is raised on it. It's very simple. It's very elegant, and it was obviously made with care in the richest city in the country.
Hey, Bear King.
Yes?
I think this is one of yours.
I'm gonna amble forward as far
I'm
as
gonna watch him like a hawk the closer he gets to that portal.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get as close as Franklin is, but I'm gonna get close enough that I can get a good look at this. Whatever
Ian,
it is.
how much HP do you have left?
1.
1? Okay. Glad you survived it.
Just whatever you do. Looks like a strong breeze and finish them off. Don't be stepping on them.
No, it definitely looks like a beast, but it's larger than any turtle I've ever seen.
I am 6 feet tall.
Any bear I've ever seen. So,
The count has stepped back and is not interfering with your investigation, but he is still listening and watching closely.
Wave him away with my gun.
He steps
Get on
away.
out of here now. Come on.
He says, I have the right to observe, but I will not interfere with your jurisdictional work.
Do you think we should do something to wake up or revive this poor thing?
I'm going to poke him with a stick.
Okay. Ian, as soon as he pokes you with the stick, you gasp in air finally. He hits you a little harder than he intends to because he's using his metal arm, which has more strength in it than he's used to. And the blow to your side makes you breathe in finally after having no air for you don't know how long. And you wake up. You are laying prone on the ground on blue grass in a blue field with a yellow brick road off on the ground in front of you that you see, and a man is in front of you holding a gun.
All green.
In Elvish, I am
And
going
a
to say
giant bear.
this is not normal.
He does not understand. You do not understand him. He looks up at you, gasping for breath, and says something in a language you do not comprehend.
Well, it talks, I guess.
Yes, and it doesn't sound or smell like the yellow or orange one that we saw earlier.
I'm fresh out of cheese, so you can't try that.
The Count says, "Oh, I can help, of course," and he waves his hand and says a few magic words, and you all feel nothing, but he says, "There, say something now."
There
What did I tell you about just randomly doing things in gibberish?
Okay,
Why is all
Gorbash,
this
you now
noise?
understand everything that's being said.
What? I try to get up really slowly.
This
Okay.
giant turtle
Giant turtle
speaks.
You understood it this time, and he starts to get to his feet. He looks extremely wobbly and like he's just had the ride of his life.
Step back a little bit.
I'm going to try to find my club.
No, there, Mr. Turtle.
I turn around. Yes.
You just came out of that hole right there.
I did.
Who are you?
I am Gorbash Omadon. I am from a different realm, I guess we can say.
Oh, I'm going to need you just to turn around and go right back on where you came from.
I would, but there are some things that I need to look around for.
Franklin?
Ian, after you're done with your role-playing, go ahead.
He might know what that small creature was.
Ian, while they're talking real quick, you do not want to go back after barely surviving that first trip.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to say that.
That is at the front of your mind. You would not survive another trip through that again, most likely.
You friends by any chance with a little orange fella about as ornery as a cat tossed into a pail of water?
No. And I love killing those things, though. They're bad.
Well, let me explain something right here, then, since you're obviously just arriving to this wonderful place. You ain't going to be killing nothing around here, or else you're going to be finding yourself in some serious trouble pretty quickly there, mister.
Okay. And I try to find my club still.
After about 20 minutes of all of this going on and this drama happening, which it's been a while, then out pops Brinoa, blue-faced, gasping for breath, landing with a hard thud on the ground as well. And you hear the Count gasp in surprise behind them as well, and also a little bit of delight.
Blue Munchkin just came out.
Her name is Brinoa, and sir, can you help her so she can understand?
He said, the Count walks up and says, of course, my sir. He waves his hand again. And the magic happens as well. After that, you hear, she should be able to speak and understand us all fluently now as well. The spell has no limit. All of you should be able to communicate. And Brinoa, you hear that, and in addition to seeing an extremely alien landscape of blue everywhere, blue grass, blue fields, blue trees off in the distance, a yellow brick road which makes no sense. You see the strangest assortment. You see a king bear off in the distance with a hat on it, with a crown on his head. A man dressed all in green and emeralds, holding a gun at the turtle's head, and a man dressed in white, almost giddily dancing from step to step at everything that's happening around him.
Can we not do that again?
That was definitely not normal.
Also, what?
It was the most terrifying experience you have ever had in your entire life. There is nothing that compares to it upon any level that you can relate to or even explain.
Usually, it's instantaneous, not that long.
Excuse me, Franklin, they seem very out of sorts and not all that dangerous. Perhaps we should move away from this thing and find somewhere we can sit and talk and perhaps eat something. It is getting late.
It is getting dark.
May I make a suggestion? Can you please stop pointing that thing at me? I really don't like it.
Stick my pistol away.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Well, giant turtle and you just kind of magically appeared out of nowhere, which I would say is crazy, but I mean, around here, it's been known to have houses fall on people, so.
I mean, yeah, portals happen. Not like that, I don't think, but they happen. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I need more coffee.
Yeah.
You are...
We'll go set up a little fire.
I was just thinking, where's my club?
I'm turning it into a fire.
The Count The Count turns towards Brinoa and he says, "My dear, can you give a brief explanation of your experience when you traveled through there?"
Pain.
Pain.
And purple.
Purple pain.
No, not together. Those were separate.
Oh.
And then just air. I need air.
There's no air. How interesting. Well,
Interesting's a word for it, I suppose.
He picks up his carpet bag and he waves his hand in front of his head in a circle like this. And a circle appears completely around him and then lifts him up. And he says, "Well, I shall see for myself. Good day, Mr. Clay. I will speak to you when I see you next time. I must investigate this."
You ain't going in there, are you?
He immediately floats off and goes into the portal in his bubble and disappears.
Well,
this has been a very strange day. I am becoming tired. I am so confused.
let's get this fire started and maybe we all have a little bite to eat and make some proper introductions.
And can we move away from that thing?
I'm already. I'm thinking up there a little bit by the road.
Sounds good. I support this plan.
Perhaps on the other side of the road, in fact.
Even better plan.
Also, you decide to make camp for the evening then and rest after your various horrible ordeals.
Did you see one of those yellow creatures going through the portal before me?
No.
Because they ran through the portal, and they're bad.
We will speak of it once we make camp.
All right. So you guys decide to make camp for the evening, which will be the time when we start the next session. I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope that you had an exciting time. I tried to make it as fair as possible and even, but you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, no, that was a lot of fun.
The party is all together now as well in the land of Oz with probably not much intent to go back through the portal, and I hope to see you all for the next game.
Yeah, I don't need to die. All right.
And that was Chartered Adventuring. Thank you.
Bye.
Nice to see you guys. Bye.